As the final buzzer echoed through the emptying arenas of the 2023-24 NBA season, a new narrative began to take shape. The Phoenix Suns, once considered a team with potential but not quite there yet, had become the league's most formidable force. By the start of the 2024-25 season, their arrival was no longer a matter of if, but when. The Suns weren't just a team, they were a looming storm, a force of nature ready to reshape the landscape of the NBA. The foundation of this formidable transformation began with a bold decision in the offseason. After a heart-wrenching playoff exit that had left fans and analysts questioning their potential, the Suns front office made a decisive move. They acquired a superstar, not just any superstar, but a generational talent whose name had been whispered in reverent tones across the league. This player was not only an offensive juggernaut but also a defensive stalwart, able to change the dynamics of any game with a single play. With this acquisition, the Suns' lineup was not just stacked, it was a formidable ensemble of talent and grit. Devin Booker, already a scoring machine in the heart of the team, was no longer alone. The new superstar paired with Kevin Durant, whose resurgence in the latter half of the previous season had reignited his Hall of Fame career, created a trio that would make even the most stoic of defenders shiver. But it wasn't just about the big names. The Suns' management, having learned from past mistakes, bolstered their roster with gritty role players and a deep bench. They brought in a defensive specialist who could lock down opposing stars, a versatile forward who could stretch the floor, and a young, hungry point guard eager to prove his worth. The roster was now a perfect blend of elite talent and necessary depth. In training camp, the chemistry was palpable. Head coach Monty Williams, who had always been known for his tactical acumen and player-centric approach, had this team firing on all cylinders. The team's practices were intense, with players pushing each other to new limits. The coaching staff was meticulous, crafting strategies that maximized every player's strengths and mitigated their weaknesses. By the time the preseason wrapped up, the Suns were not just winning games, they were dismantling opponents with a blend of offensive fireworks and stifling defense. Their new superstar's impact was immediate, but it was the synergy between Booker, Durant, and their new addition that really had the league on notice. When the regular season tipped off, the Suns were a whirlwind of excitement. They came out of the gates with an aggressive style of play that left their opponents reeling. Their offensive efficiency was off the charts, with Booker and Durant leading the charge, while their new superstar acted as a relentless force on both ends of the floor. The team's defense, often a weak spot in past seasons, now looked impenetrable with the new additions locking down key players and making every possession a struggle for their opponents. As the season progressed, it became clear that the Suns were not just another team, they were the team to beat. Their chemistry was so seamless that they made every game look effortless, and their defense was so suffocating that even the league's most potent offenses found themselves stifled. The Suns' dominance wasn't just a matter of statistics, it was about the way they played the game. They were relentless, aggressive, and fundamentally sound. They executed plays with precision, their defense was a coordinated symphony of effort, and their fast breaks were a testament to their athleticism and teamwork. By the time the All-Star break rolled around, the Suns had cemented their position as the top team in the league. They were the team that everyone feared, the one that other coaches stayed up nights strategizing against. They were no longer the dark horse, they were the front runner, the team whose very name was enough to send a shiver down the spines of their opponents. As the playoffs approached, the Suns were not just aiming for a championship, they were poised to redefine what it meant to be a dominant force in the NBA. The league watched in awe as the Phoenix Suns, once a team with potential, had transformed into the ultimate powerhouse. The Suns weren't just playing the game, they were setting the new standard for it. And so, as the NBA season unfolded, one thing became indisputable: the Phoenix Suns were a force of nature, a tempest that promised to reshape the future of basketball. The league had been warned, and as the Suns took the court, it was clear that their rise was not just a story of triumph, it was a new era in the making.